The court concludes here that disinheriting Kouri will not be manifestly unjust. There is no appreciable risk of error in determining that Kouri committed a disqualifying homicide. That part. The court is going to answer the question about what if appeal. This is the court's answer. Even setting aside the preclusive effect of Kouri's conviction in the criminal case, looking separate from the criminal case, quote, there is sufficient evidence to conclude by a preponderance that Kouri committed aggravated murder. In addition, the court says there is no realistic probability at this point that Kouri will obtain anything better than a disinheritance. Even if Kouri inherited something from the estate or trust, Kouri has substantial financial debt. The estate also has a pending wrongful death claim against Kouri, which may yield a large money judgment. We haven't even begun to go through the wrongful death. Don't worry, we'll get there. But the court has said clearly, even aside from the jury verdict, there is a preponderance of the evidence here, which is a lower statute. This is a situation where Kouri could have been acquitted in criminal and still disinherited in civil. That result could absolutely happen. We saw it in the wrongful death case, in the O.J. Simpson case, I think most famously. You can be acquitted beyond a reasonable doubt and still found liable for wrongful death in civil. The court goes on to say that when Kouri's debts and potential liabilities are balanced against the statutory elective share that she may have inherited, but for the murder conviction, there's very little possibility Kouri would retain any portion of her potential inheritance. The court concludes that a disinheritance now will not result in error and will not deprive Kouri of a more favorable outcome later. The court goes on to say, second, based on the jury's unanimous decision finding Kouri guilty beyond a reasonable doubt and the undisputed facts cited above, a reasonable fact finder could reach only one conclusion under the preponderance standard. Kouri committed a disqualifying homicide. The motion is granted in full. The petition is granted in full. Kouri committed a disqualifying homicide for the purposes of Utah Code Section 75-2-803. Kouri consequently forfeited all rights and benefits she has or may have had with respect to the estate or trust, including an intestate share, an elective share, an omitted spouse's share, a homestead allowance, exempt property, or a family allowance. Any dispositions or appointments of property that Eric made to Kouri are hereby revoked. To the extent that Eric and Kouri held property as joint tenants, that joint tenancy is severed and the ownership is deemed to be a tenancy in common. For purposes of determining Kouri's rights under any instrument that Eric executed, Kouri is deemed to have 1, disclaimed all rights, 2, predeceased Eric. Kouri cannot in any way profit by or from Eric's death.